Welcome to another episode of The American Dream, the only show of its kind going against the grain of all that negative nonsense that you see in the media. Well, our goal is to educate, empower, and engage the mindset of your American dream. Throughout this week, we've compiled some awesome interviews, national guests that I know you're going to absolutely love, but also in every market that we launch this show, we integrate local market advice from your own backyard. Great show lined up for you. Let's get it started right now. Every single day, you are consumed with information. With the 24/7 negative news cycle and a pop culture that's polluting the airways, all selling out for the ratings game. Well, guess what? There's a more positive way to look at life. You live in the greatest city in the greatest country on the planet. Every day with our elite network of professionals, our goal is to educate, empower, and engage. And now it's time to fight for your American dream. In a digital world, this is an absolutely fascinating topic. You heard of Bitcoin. We're going to go deep on this, and we're going to go quick. We got Ty Jenn, CEO of Cryptocurrency Market. Ty, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us here.
David Fong, you are the COO. So CEO, COO. You guys just said to me coming into the show that you believe we're on the verge of the biggest bull market in the history of humankind. That's a bold statement. Why do you say that?
Absolutely, we say that, and we have a firm belief about that on our team, simply because Bitcoin this is the first time in human history that the playing field has been leveled for Main Street. So now the little guys like us on Main Street can have the same profit potential and the same gains that the guys on Wall Street have been doing for decades now.
How is that?
Because Bitcoin is a permissionless.
That's probably the first question I should have asked for anyone who doesn't know. What is Bitcoin? I mean, we've heard of it. It's a currency of some sort, like an online currency?
Yeah, it's an online. Bitcoin is a technology. It's a public ledger technology that anyone can access and read it themselves if they have the correct software, which is easily downloadable from bitcoin.org. And what happens is when you access that ledger, you think of Bitcoin as a public network, like the highway network. It's called Bitcoin, and the cars and the vehicles that move through that network is also called Bitcoin. And the traffic laws that govern how those vehicles can move through the network are also called Bitcoin. That was the confusion that Satoshi Nakamoto created when he first invented Bitcoin and released it to the public. And right now, those vehicles that are moving around the network are being used as a currency because it's the most secure way on the planet right now to move units of a currency around. Much safer than the euro, the pound, the yen, or the US dollar.
So how does this help the average guy or gal out there?
Well, there's only a limited number of Bitcoins that are available on the planet right now. There will only ever be 21 million units ever created, right?
Well, with that, you can have a value assigned to it.
Yeah, you can assign a value to it, and each Bitcoin, I want your audience to know that each Bitcoin can be chopped up into 100 million units. And so you don't have to necessarily buy one Bitcoin or half a Bitcoin, you can buy a fraction of it.
Ty,
right?
do you understand why this is confusing to people?
Yeah.
Why do you think we're on the verge of the greatest bull market?
It's the greatest bull market is because of the limited supply. There's only 21 million. The more people that use it, the value of it can only go up. So if you want to get it, right, there's only a limited number of supply. It's not like the US dollar where they print new US dollars every month or every year.
Beyond that, for human history, you talk about bull markets. There was the tulip boom. That was isolated in Holland, right? We've had our stock market booms, the internet boom, but this is the first time that across the entire globe, everybody, China, Japan,
global,
Russia, right? And people are interested in this asset class that is a limited supply, serves an incredible need.
Globally, so does it kind of go across currency lines where you have different currencies of different countries? This is 21 million global.
Yes,
global.
Yeah, and it's not restricted. Like, for example, like the US dollar is dominant across the world right now, but there are still some countries, like I come from Vietnam, and there's still people that they can't send money out from Vietnam. Like they want to trade the American stock market, they cannot come and buy Apple stocks. The government won't let them, right? I used to talk to Forex brokers. I used to trade Forex, And the Forex brokers, when I asked them, hey, how come you guys don't have a Forex brokerage firm or a currency brokerage firm in Vietnam? They say because the government there won't let people put money into it. So with Bitcoin, it doesn't matter if a government or authority gives you permission or not, right? You can access the Bitcoin network. Everyone has access to it.
What do the governments think of Bitcoin?
Right now, there are some governments that are hesitant about it.
Let's talk about the U.S. government.
The U.S. government, I don't have any evidence that they are for it or against it. I know that our securities lawyer in Dallas, he commonly sends us information about what the SEC is doing. They created a task force to pay attention to this, and they are looking at it, to make sure they're not trying to stop it. They're trying to make sure that everybody follows the rules and the government guidelines.
Real quick, and got about 20 seconds. But tell us about your organization. You're the COO. Go ahead.
So we are the first and most popular YouTube crypto investing channel.
That we know of.
That we know of. That's right. So we basically want to educate people. We started out just trying to tell people about what this innovation is, why it's revolutionary, and that was just our friends. And instead of just having these one-on-one conversations, over and over again, we put it up online, and we said, hey, go check that out. You have any questions? Give us a call.
So now you guys have basically got your own information channel on YouTube where people can get more information on this. And let's part with that. If you have questions about this, if you're an investor, if you're just an everyday guy or gal out there and you want to learn more about this new wave happening digitally with currency, it's really a fascinating topic, and it's only going to get bigger. Check these guys out on YouTube, and more of the American Dream coming up next. Welcome back to the American Dream. Today we're talking about the impact of that new world of digital, which can mean a lot of things, but online, social media, it's just a crazy world out there. I don't think there's anybody to come into the show and talk about it than Daniel Hindi, who's the CTO of Buildfire. What's up, man?
Thank you for having me on.
This topic is right up your alley, man.
Yep.
And this is your wheelhouse.
Yep.
So what do you think of the world we live in right now?
So as you can see, everything is becoming more and more digital, more and more artificially intelligent. And that's always a big topic nowadays with machine learning and deep learning and so on. And
what do you mean by that?
So you'll see a lot more topics coming up about machine learning. What does that really mean? It's basically trying to understand patterns that exist in our world. Right now, you look at a cup and you recognize that to be a cup, even though there's no solid definition for that. It's not necessarily glass, it's not necessarily cylindrical, it doesn't necessarily have a handle, but you've seen enough of them to recognize a cup. So what we're doing is we're getting computers to be able to have that same intelligence through machine learning. So great, so how do you work with that with business?
Yeah.
So what's a business application for that? You'll see a lot of image recognition, but also behavioral recognition. So for example, every business has a website. We have analytical data that tells us how long somebody's been on the site, what pages they go to, where they came from, and then post facto, we do the analysis. With machine learning, if you gather enough sample data of previously visited behavior, you can tell before the user leaves the site whether they're going to convert from a user to a customer. And let's say it's a negative outcome, you can give them a promotion, you can change the pricing, you can take them to a different page, you can try to modify their behavior.
It's just going to become scientific from a consumer, businesses selling to the consumer.
Absolutely, and it's going to become much more retail, where the small guys can compete in this market as well, as you see emerging SaaS companies offer this to e-commerce platforms and so on.
So for the people watching, is this going to be something that's become more annoying or more efficient? You know what I mean? Like you mentioned pop-ups. Sometimes you go online, you just want to find something, some information. Next thing you know, you're on an email drip campaign. It drives you nuts. You got to unsubscribe every day to keep your email inbox from blowing up. Do you think that this is going to make things better for people or even more annoying?
There's two sides of that coin. I mean, you can see from anything from push notifications to drip marketing campaigns on email. People who abuse it, there's a negative effect. People are just going to unsubscribe and leave. So finding that fine balance. With machine learning, you're not going to see it coming. Because you haven't seen the other possible outcomes. You just saw your outcome. So it's going to be a little bit more incognito.
Interesting. Now, you talked about artificial intelligence. What about virtual reality?
So with virtual reality, you're going to see a lot more application for that in the utility realm. Right now, everybody's thinking retail, which is great in games and helping people shop and get an experience, a virtual experience. Well, with utility, if I look at a particular engine and see a virtual representation of it and see the flaw in it without having to dismantle it, there's huge ramifications for that and cost savings in the utility.
Where are we at
world.
in 5 years? What's it going to look like? When I'm interviewing you on this show in 5 years from now, are you even going to be sitting here? Is it going to be a hologram of Daniel Hindi?
You'll see a lot more augmented reality where the bleed between the digital realm and the real world the lines will start blurring. Wearables will be a lot more sleek, less noticeable. Voice is going to be big. Everything is now watching us. Well, now everything's listening into what we're saying and how we're saying it. And unfortunately, you're going to see a lot more ads, subtle ads, come your way.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, that's what drives it, right? Is the money behind it, the revenue?
If it's free, that means you're the product.
Yeah. Very good. Buildfire, you guys are actually helping businesses build applications. I want to give you a nice endorsement here.
Oh, thank you.
Anyone going into the new year, who should be reaching out? Who's your ideal
You go to
clientele?
buildfire.com. Our artificial intelligence will pick up the right person to set you up with any business needs that you need in the digital realm, whether it's a mobile app, a back-end service, website, whatever it may be, we can help you with.
You guys are leaders in the space. Thanks for coming on the show. What a fascinating topic.
Thank you.
All right, man. Okay, more of the American Dream coming up next. Joining us on the American Dream, he is a radio show host on ESPN. He's been a regular on our program. Eran Sinai, the elite expert when it comes to this digital world. As it pertains to you as a consumer, things like identity theft and credit. Eran, good to have you on the show.
Good to be here.
How's a radio show? When am I coming on that radio show?
I think you're on January.
Is it booked?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Okay,
I think
good.
you even confirmed.
All right, good.
So,
you know what I want to talk about on that
tell
show?
me.
Your Bitcoin story.
I don't know if
I
I'm
always do
ready
this
to
to you.
explain. That's embarrassing.
Come on, tell it, man.
Well, back in 2011, I'm not going to say how much, but it was about $1 for Bitcoin. I bought thousands of them, right? And
So you did just say how much.
no,
for anyone
a
who
few, not.
So Bitcoin was $1.
Yep.
You're a seasoned professional. You've done well in your life. You bought thousands
Yeah.
of dollars worth. Okay.
Yeah, and then it jumped to 31, right?
you're
So I was
doing
very
pretty-
happy,
doing
and I
pretty
thought
good.
I was on the right track.
Hit the register button. Cash out.
No, I'm waiting. I'm thinking I'm waiting.
He's getting
right?
greedy. Pigs get slaughtered.
That's right. And then Silk Road came up, a few other events in the world happened, and it crushed to $2. It went down to $2.
But you bought it $1. You're still up.
That's right. So, but at that point, I'm talking to a lot of financial experts, and I'm thinking, what do I know? I just got to listen to those that said that this will never work. And I literally freak out, and I sell every bit of it. So I doubled my money, but...
Hey, good job. What's
Yeah,
Bitcoin,
exactly.
what is Bitcoin now?
What is it, about $1,700? So figured a few thousand of Bitcoin times 1,700. I'm not sure I'll be sitting, I might be hosting you on my beach
Yeah,
resort.
the island that you own, and you would
That's
move your
exactly
radio
right.
show to be hosted from an island. It would
Exactly.
officially become a podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, man, that hurts. I got my own Bitcoin story, but not that bad. And we don't need to share mine. So we're wrapping up here, going into 2018. We'll help people be on the right track when it comes to their finances, things like their credit. Today we're talking about the digital world. What advice would you give to any of our viewers here today about protecting your identity, optimizing your credit scores? What advice can you give?
You know, it's a great point. I think we always focus on the bad things and the negative, right? Because unfortunately, that's
The way of the world, right?
The way of the world. So on the positive side, look, we are in the digital world. We have a lot of access, more than we've ever had to anything we want. Take advantage of it. Go to confirm and check that you're all okay with your credit. Go pull a copy of your credit. Go make sure you're okay. Go to your bank and make sure that if you travel, alert the bank so whenever you travel, your credit card company knows you travel.
I've learned that.
You've learned that, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not in a different state, they will stop charges. Make sure that you monitor your medical bills. It's the end of the year. Get a statement and make sure that all the charges of your medical are yours.
My advice to you would be pay attention.
Right.
Look at that credit report. Keep your bills. Be organized about this stuff, because when these things happen, you want to be prepared so you don't have to deal with the financial stress it can cause. You can visit Eran online. This is what they do. This is what they specialize in. IDCyberCenter.com. He's been coming on the show for so long now and helped so many people improve their credit scores, protect from identity theft, including me. I had an ID theft a couple of years ago. Smooth sailing with you. Eran, Sinai, cheers to 2018, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Same to you. Thank you.
All right, more of the show coming up next. So you just watch all these national interviews, but on a show called The American Dream, of course we got to dive into the real estate market. We have handpicked the best top producing realtors in your market to give you advice out of your own backyard. Let's go see what they have to say.
The end of the year signifies a time to reflect for many, and for others, we like to make goals and set our sights on the future. Well, we are doing a year in review of sorts with my next guest, Sohn, top producer with Remax Gold. Brian, thank you so much for being on The American Dream again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about how 2017 was for you as far as real estate is concerned.
2017 was a great year. Sales were high for me as an individual, but then as far as the nation goes, and specifically Franklin County, 2017 was the best year we've had in probably about a decade. So it's a really strong market right now. Sales are great.
And you mentioned Franklin County, Missouri. That's where you do a bulk of your work. Is that right?
Yeah, the majority of my work is in Franklin County. I do work all the way into St. Louis County, but probably 80% is in Franklin County.
So what are you seeing, Brian, as we roll into 2018? Do you think housing prices are going to stay strong? Do you think we're going to be appreciating? Is there any room left to appreciate?
I think home prices are going to continue to go up, probably slower. This year was a good step up in home prices, and homes that are listed right are getting about 97% of their asking price. So if you list your home well, days on market is down. It's down to about a mid-60s for our area, and 97% is a pretty good amount.
That's really, really great. And I know that 2 reports recently came out, one from the National Association of Realtors saying that it's been the strongest real estate pace in a decade?
Yeah, so strongest in a decade. So 2017 is really the recovery most people were looking for. A lot of sellers were holding their house out of the market. Well, that time is over. So it's time to sell and time to move forward because new construction is coming back.
I also know that there was another report that came out saying that home sales are at an 11-year high. What does that mean for people that are looking into 2018 and thinking about maybe putting their home on the market? Do you think it's the perfect time?
Yeah, so this is the right time. So the recovery has happened. So the recession, as far as real estate in our market, it's over. House prices have recovered. And so a report just came out that last month was the first month that existing home sales were down 1%. And new home sales are up 2%. So we've kind of reached that top of the market for existing homes, and they're going to start competing with new homes on a regular basis.
And tell me a little bit, Brian, about the numbers of Franklin County as they compare maybe to St. Louis. Are the numbers pretty comparable there?
Yeah, St. Louis County and Franklin County are right on par. If you looked at the statistics, we had about the same growth this year. Our days on market have decreased. St. Louis County may have a little lower days on market right now than we do, but part of that is they have a larger market. There's more homes and there's more buyers. So more activity helps to bring the days down, but our days have came down from 180 days to like I said, the mid-60s, which is really good.
That's really great. Well, I know that you have a fantastic property that you want to showcase today and tell us about. Tell me about this property and the listing.
So 793 Marks Drive, it's a 5-bedroom, 4-bath home. It sits on 3 acres and it's 3,500 square foot. Has an outbuilding with it. And so if somebody wants to live in the country, have a really nice home, 2-story great room, a beautiful bar in the basement, this is a house for you. It's not the average ranch home you might see. It's a 1.5-story home and has 2 suites on the main floor. And then it has additional 3 bedrooms on the second floor, along with a workout room in the basement.
Oh, you know what? We all need that, especially after this holiday season, Brian. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's a goal, and we rarely achieve it, but it's easier if it's in your house.
That's for sure. Well, Brian Sohn, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure talking to you. We, as always, encourage our viewers to reach out to you if they're interested in that property or any others that you may have on your website or anything else that you can help them with. You're one of the best in the business. We always appreciate your time.
Thank you. Pleasure being here. I'm happy to be part.
And if you have any other questions, reach out to us online. We'd be happy to help you, direct you in any way that you see fit to help you with people like Brian or any other realtors around the country. We'll be right back with more of the show.
I'm Krista Hartmann with RE/MAX Results, and today you are in for a treat because we are here at the Missouri Athletic Club with President Mike Schodel, and we are definitely excited because this is one of St. Louis's hidden gems. Mike, thank you so much for being here.
It's great to be here.
So glad that we could enjoy this beautiful time of year at the Missouri Athletic Club. One thing I was thinking about that the folks out there would like to know is how and when was the Missouri Athletic Club founded?
The Missouri Athletic Club started in 1903. We have two locations. We have our downtown location and we have our west location. The downtown location was started in 1903 in preparation for the 1904 World's Fair and also the Olympics. So there was a lot of activity and some businessmen came together and they formed this incredible club. In 1995, we purchased the west location, the old Town and Country Racquet Club, and so now we have one club with two locations.
Great, that's great. I bet a lot of people didn't realize that that history that's there at the MAC. What is the mission of the MAC?
The mission of the Missouri Athletic Club is to be the premier social, dining, and athletic club in the regional St. Louis area. It's become a focal point, not only a focal point for our members, but a focal point for the community. It's had a long-lasting legacy here in the region, and we hope to have another 125 years for that legacy.
Great, that's great. What about the amenities that the members can enjoy?
There's numerous amenities. Again, as I said, there's one club and two locations. At both locations, our members and guests have the opportunity to play basketball, play racquetball, play tennis, play squash, dine at both of our locations, play basketball at both locations. We have youth programs. We have fitness facilities. Recently, we've just improved our areas for specialty fitness, so yoga, Pilates, any type of individualized athletic training. So lots of those types of things. In addition to that, we have our clubs within a club. So if you're interested in a specialty type of activity, maybe wine, or whiskey, or playing bridge, or dancing, or clays, shooting, those types of things. We have a club to fit your needs. So we're really a club that fits the activities of people both young and old.
Great. That wine club sounds very interesting for sure. I didn't expect that.
Absolutely.
Definitely the athletics I expected, but that's wonderful. So with all these amenities, first of all, the question I was thinking of is how many members do you have? And then, you know, it sounds like that there's something for everyone.
Absolutely. There's 2,300 members, but of those 2,300 members, we have 6,000 member families.
Wow.
So it's an incredible number of people that take on all the activities at both locations. Our two locations are essentially 20 minutes from everything in the St. Louis area. So we serve people West County and the Mid-County. We also serve people on the Illinois side. So we have members from all different walks of life, including all the members, guests, neighbors, family, friends, all those people they're bringing to collaborate with, to socialize with, to have business meetings. Whether it's a special party, maybe they're having a wedding here, maybe their family is part of the swim club. All those different types of things are happening at both locations.
Well, this is definitely a beautiful place to have a wedding, for sure, wedding reception.
It's a fantastic place.
Yes.
In fact, 15 years ago, my wife and I had our reception here. So
That's awesome.
it's a special place. Our family enjoys both locations. I live close to the West location. I work in Clayton, so I can serve and get to both locations in a very short part of time. I play basketball downtown. I entertain people downtown. I have dinners downtown, but I also are doing all the family stuff out west, including having dinners and socializing. And
at the other location.
Absolutely.
You're a busy guy.
Yes, it's great though.
Yeah, that's really good information for the folks out there. Now, I know that the Missouri Athletic Club is a private club. What exactly does that mean?
The Missouri Athletic Club is a private club. It means it's invitation only. But it's an invitation only because our members are inviting their friends and families, business partners, people they work with, other professional people in the community. We are encouraging those people who are a part of our members' lives to come and join the MAC experience.
So if you're a new resident to St. Louis or you've lived near one of the clubs all your life, Mike, tell us how can they find out more information?
Well, first and foremost, they can contact any number of our professional staff. But more importantly, I personally invite anyone who's interested in the Missouri Athletic Club to come to our many guest events where they can come and enjoy the incredible experience here at the MAC.
Well, thanks again, Mike, for having us. And I just want to wish everyone out there a Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2018.
Hey American Dream, it's Russ Miller with New American Funding, and today I want to talk to something that's very important in the loan process. The difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval. You can get burned on a pre-qualification, let me tell you why. A pre-qualification is merely a phone call that happens between a loan officer and a consumer. As the loan officer, I'll ask a few questions. I'll ask your income, I'll ask about your employment, I'll ask how much money you have in the bank. And then after determining or qualifying those figures, I'll say, yeah, it looks like you do qualify. Well, pre-approval, we take it one step further. The pre-approval is actually a validation of that qualification form. And what I mean by that is, we'll ask for pay stubs, we'll ask for a bank statement, we'll ask for a W-2 or a tax return. And the reason for that is, an individual, while pre-qualifying them, will say that they work full-time. Well, that pay stub may reflect that they only work 35 hours. That 5 hours a week, compounded by 52 weeks, that's a lot of income that we have to deduct off of what they told us they made. So make sure when you're looking at homes or shopping for homes that your loan officer pre-approves you and not pre-qualifies you. It'll avoid a lot of heartache and pain in the future. Russ Miller with New American Funding. We'll see you next week. All right, that's all for today's show. I hope you enjoyed not only our national interviews, but you got advice out of your own marketplace. If you have any questions and you want to reach out, find us at AmericanDreamNetwork.tv. And don't forget, you can follow us on social media there as well. Love to hear from you. Thank you for liking and sharing our content. That is all for today. Cheers to your American Dream, and we'll see you next time.